Violet Sky Media presents. Harry Yarns is a scripted horror podcast featuring original creepy tales inspired by real-life occurrences, legends, and myths. In each episode, we perform an original fictional script that is based on, inspired by, or reminiscent of an existing true story. For this episode, Episode 6, our inspiration comes from multiple stories on the same topic, which takes us through possibilities and circumstances that the majority of humankind have never experienced. It's set in Joshua Tree, California, and involves two old friends and a stranger who share a unique connection and eventually an experience that will stay with them for a lifetime. So, as usual, sit back and listen for the next several minutes to our latest creepy tale, Episode 6 of the Harry Yarns podcast, Blinded by the Light. Written and performed by myself, Tal Anderson as Anna, along with my co-host Kayla Cromer as Rachel. In this episode are also Anthony Purnell as Jake and Morgan Marie as Lila. After the performance, be sure to keep listening to discover where the inspiration for the story came from as Kayla and I discuss the details surrounding the real encounters that appeal to us. Harry Yarns is produced by Violet Sky Media and is performed and pre-recorded in Los Angeles, California. Oh my goodness.
It's not funny. You suck.
Oh my god, I can't breathe. It was funny then, and it's still funny 10 years later.
Good to know you're still getting enjoyment out of my teenage mortification.
If it helps, I only think about it when we get together. But I'm definitely never gonna forget. And I promise I'll bring it up as often as I can, so you don't forget either.
That's freaking awesome, Anna. I can't wait.
It's pretty much the funniest thing that happened in middle school.
Do you remember all the trouble we used to get into during our camping trips?
Trouble we got into? As I recall, it was mostly you doing all the troublemaking.
Come on, those trips would have been snoozers without my creative suggestions. I don't remember getting many thank yous either, by the way.
Ha! Thank yous. Look, is that a person up there?
I don't know.
Yeah, that's a person. Where the heck did they come from?
That's a good question because we haven't seen a car for hours.
We're almost to the cabin road, so maybe they're staying up there by us somewhere.
Yeah, maybe. Should we stop and help them?
No! What makes you think they need help? And don't you remember all the horror movies we watch? Picking up the hitchhiker is always a bad idea.
Yeah, but they're not hitchhiking. They're walking. So we're just being neighborly.
That's a stretch. I don't think it's a good idea. And look, it's a dude. Double danger.
Well, that's sexist. What the heck? Newsflash, not all guys are dangerous, Anna.
You know what I meant. Jeez.
It won't hurt just to crack a window and ask. Hey there.
What the hell? Is he ignoring us? Another bad sign, Rachel. Just drive away.
Hey. Are you okay?
Ah! Holy
Sorry. We were trying to get your attention, but you were ignoring us. What'd you have your eyes closed or something? We're right beside you, dude.
Whoa, yeah, actually. There's never anyone on this road.
We were just wanting to make sure you were okay.
Give me another second to get my heart rate back down, and I'll be good.
I mean, this road is dead, but if your eyes are closed, you could, wander into the road and the one non-attended driver could drive by and plow right into you. And it's getting dark. You could wander off into the desert and disappear.
Noted for future hikes. You guys just out for a drive?
No, we have a destination. We just stopped to say hi and to make sure you were okay.
Well, thank you. Nice to meet you. My name is Jake. I'm on my way back, so I'll be safe and sound at my campsite soon.
Nice. Well, happy hiking. Watch out for rattlesnakes and have a good night.
Same to you. Drive safe.
Good job, Rachel. I thought you were going to pick him up. Rachel? Rachel, stop! What are you doing?
Forget something?
Yeah, we forgot our manners. Do you want to ride? The sun is going down pretty fast.
Sure. You're not a fan of the axe murderers, are you?
Yes, we are. You should just keep walking.
Anna!
What? You shouldn't get into cars with axe murderers or pick them up.
Pretty sure an axe murderer wouldn't ask if we were axe murderers, right, Jake?
Probably not. But the real question is, would axe murderers tell you they were axe murderers because they assume that you think they were joking?
Yes, they would.
Well, I guess we'll find out. Again, I'm Jake.
Rachel, not an axe murderer.
Don't believe her. Trust nobody, Jake. That's my motto.
Probably a good one. I'll remember that.
That's Anna. Jury's still out.
Hi.
So, where are we taking you?
Not far. I have a little campsite up a ways at the base of that big rock over there. I appreciate the lift.
You're very welcome. We were getting bored anyway. We've been driving for hours and haven't even passed a car.
Yeah, I really like it out here. It's peaceful, serene.
I don't know how peaceful I'd feel if I was camping out here alone.
Oh, I'm not alone. My girlfriend Lila is at the campsite.
Well, that's a little better, except she's the one that's alone out here at a campsite.
Nah, she's fine. She loves it out here. You guys from around here or just visiting from out of town?
We're out of towners now, but we went to high school together in LA and haven't taken a trip like this in a really long time.
My parents used to come up here for vacation every fall and stay up in that Airstream Village Motel up the road.
Oh yeah, I know that place.
Unlucky me, I always got to tag along. Good times.
Squad reunion, huh?
Something like that. Are you from out of town too?
Yeah, I live in Arizona, but I grew up here in Joshua Tree. I don't get back as much since my parents are gone, but I try to get here at least once a year.
When did your parents move?
Oh, they didn't move. They died. Well, I assume they died.
What the heck does that mean?
Honestly, it's not usually something I talk about because I realize it's confusing, but I don't have much more information.
You don't have to talk about it, sorry.
So, like, they disappeared or something?
Anna!
Yeah, like, we ate dinner, I left to go to a movie in town with friends, and when I got home, they were gone. There was a huge investigation, but they never found them. I guess they just went out for a walk after dinner and got lost or something.
Oh my god, Jake, that's horrible. I'm so sorry.
It's fine. I went to live with my aunt in Arizona and eventually just accepted they weren't coming back.
Jesus, that's crazy. Is that something they did? Go for walks at night in the desert?
They did go for walks and hikes all the time, and the desert's a big place. They weren't the first people to disappear out here. As a kid, I guess that part didn't shock me. Other people had disappeared before. Hikers disappear out here all the time.
Huh.
The worst part was people spread a rumor that they were kidnapped by aliens, and then my parents' deaths just became a big joke. Anyway, it was a long time ago.
People are assholes.
Did you ever think maybe that was true?
Well, now you're being an asshole.
It's fine. I come back here for the memories, just so I never forget how beautiful this place is. And no, not to look for aliens.
Well, it's definitely beautiful, and it's nice for you to come back and do that.
Hey, turn right here at that sign. Our campsite is up around that corner. I really appreciate the ride.
You're very welcome.
So I guess I miscalculated my hike. I would have had a little harder time finding camp. You can stop right here.
It's super dark. Have you checked down Lila? Is she here?
Pretty sure she's here.
Well, if she's not, there are definitely other things here, like snakes and other things.
Do you want us to wait to make sure your tent is still there? I mean, is that a thing with tents? Like, do people steal them?
Actually, Yeah, they do, but nobody ever camps over on this side. I think they think this road is like a park service road or something.
I wouldn't have even seen that little sign, and the entrance to the road is hidden by that clump of Joshua trees.
I'm good though, and never have any issues. I camp in the same place every time I come out here. My dad found it when I was a kid, so it was always our place. And that big rock helps with the wind.
Dang, it's so quiet. Listen,
Are you guys in a hurry? You're welcome to come over and meet Lila. I'm sure she's making a fire and we have beers in the cooler. It's the least I can do to thank you.
We better not. Anna is probably still worried about getting axed.
no, I'm good, actually. Jake was in the perfect position in the back seat to axe us both, so I figure if he hasn't killed us yet, he probably won't.
Wow, Anna. Full of surprises these days.
Or I was just waiting to get you off the main road so that anyone driving by couldn't see your chopped up remains on the roadside and come looking for my camp.
Jesus, reconsidering.
Here we are. Hey, Lila, come meet some people.
Hey, you. Sorry. I was just taking a nap until you got back. You pick up some strays on the way home?
This is Rachel and Anna. They were nice enough to give me a ride. It was getting dark pretty fast.
Oh, thanks so much for doing that.
No problem.
Nice to meet you, Lila. And it was our pleasure.
Wow. You know, I was expecting an Indiana Jones-like tent on the dirt covered with scorpions, but this is borderline glamping.
Well, nice to meet you both, and welcome to our humble campsite.
Semi-humble. Just a few upgrades. Having the tent on the roof like that solves a lot of problems. It also way easier to set up and way harder to steal. And the campsite lights are hooked up to the solar panel on the windshield over there.
Well, maybe I can camp. I have certain basic city girl needs, but this I can do.
I do really love this setup. It works great and feels a lot safer and homey.
Cheers!
Cheers.
Cheers!
So, what do you guys do for a living?
I'm a librarian. Well, I'm also a writer, but that's a work in progress. Basically, I love books.
Cool. I'm an illustrator, so I'm definitely team books.
Me too. I'm a middle school science teacher. What do you do, Rachel?
I'm a flight instructor for a commercial airline.
Oh, nice.
Well, that's what she's doing right now, but she's not a flight instructor. She's a pilot, specifically an ex-astronaut.
Anna.
What? Wait, seriously? That's unreal. Like, for real?
That's so cool.
The X part is important.
Wow, have you been to space?
Actually, yes. Once.
But she doesn't like to talk about it.
Oh, sorry. Didn't mean to intrude.
That's fine. It's been a couple of years, so it's not as fresh anymore. It's just that, well, after my first flight, I quit, so it was basically the beginning and end of my career.
Oh, sorry to hear that. Why'd you quit?
It's a long story, but basically, I panicked in space, and that's not a great quality for an astronaut to have.
Well, that's not the full story, though. Just tell him, Rachel.
Well, my first flight, we had a view of the Aurora Australis, so I was setting up my camera to record it in a time lapse. Once I turned it on, I just sat there and was watching it. So beautiful. Then I saw this weird formation of 5 objects flying alongside the auroras.
What do you mean, flying?
Well, at first, it just looked like stars, but they were big and brighter than all of the other stars. And they were moving pretty quickly, all in a straight line formation. So yeah, they were flying.
Leave it to Rachel to not only get to see the northern lights from outer space, but also to see alien spacecraft.
It's hard to explain, but at the same time, I had this overwhelming sense of dread, like in my gut. My whole body froze for a second, and I felt like I was going to pass out, and then the feeling went away. I went to wake everyone up, but when we got back to the observation window, they were gone. I still had the time-lapse recording, so there was an investigation and an analysis that was done, but the results were inconclusive.
Inconclusive of what? Aliens? Like, they were analyzing the footage to figure out whether they were spaceships or not?
Well, yeah.
I know you had that whole situation with your parents and the rumors, Jake, but do you believe it's possible? Like, do you think they could have actually been taken?
Wait, what's she talking about, Jake?
Oh, I'm so sorry. I didn't know.
No, it's okay. Lila, it's just something that happened when my parents died. But people in town spread rumors that they've been abducted by aliens. It's not a big deal.
That must have been hard for you. You were in high school, right?
Yeah, it's fine. I moved away to go live with my aunt, so it didn't really affect me. And on the aliens, well, I don't not believe it's possible.
So you do believe in aliens?
I've spent a lot of time in this desert growing up. I've seen a lot of weird things similar to what Rachel described. I've also seen lines of lights in the sky out here more than once.
I've only been out here with Jake a few times, but I've never seen anything other than an occasional snake or jackrabbit, a few coyotes.
Jake, do you ever have dreams?
What do you mean, dreams? Like nightmares?
More like dreams about being taken or being on a ship?
Yeah. How do you know that?
What are they about?
Well, the truth is, ever since I lost my parents, I had nightmares. And they're not specific. I just see them walking, then they start floating up into the sky. And sometimes I dream and see them on a ship. I can tell because I see them standing in front of a window and there's stars behind them. That image of them is burned into my brain. And that's why I can't forget about those rumors. Even though it was a long time ago, I definitely tried though.
I asked because I have them too. Every night. And every night is exactly the same. I see like a blur of lights and I'm really hot, like a giant blow dryer is pointed at me. And then I'm looking out some kind of window and I see this weird star pattern shape that kind of looks like a hand. And then I get grabbed and strapped to a table and these weird big-eyed aliens start poking at me.
Jeez.
Sometimes I wake up and I'm sore.
What do you mean?
Maybe I'm poking myself in my sleep. Kind of like sleepwalking, only sleep poking instead. Anyways, it's been happening for so long, I don't even think it's weird anymore.
Why have you never told me about this, Anna?
Sorry. I mean, when they first started, I just thought they were weird dreams. And then after a while, I just got used to them. I have no idea why I have the same dream every night.
The thing is, I have them too, ever since I got back after my mission. But my dreams were just a replay of what I saw, over and over. And then I wake up with that same feeling I felt on the ship. It's like that strong, sinking feeling in the pit of my stomach.
Wow. I think it's weird, or maybe just a coincidence. I don't know. I get why you have them because of what you saw, and Jake has them because he was traumatized over the rumors. But why the hell am I having alien dreams? Maybe because of what happened to you on the ship? I don't know. I was just wondering if anyone else... What is that noise? Do you guys hear that?
It's my speaker, I think. Or maybe it's my phone. Probably needs to charge.
No, I hear it too. Is it getting louder?
I don't hear anything. What are you guys talking about?
You don't hear that? Oh my god, it's making my eyeballs hurt!
It's coming from the rock.
No, I think it's over there. Is it the car? Anna, check the car.
It's not the rock.
Okay, very funny, guys. I'm not falling for it. I just hear the bugs and the coyotes like every other night.
It's not the car! Stop it! Ah!
Run to the car now!
Oh my god!
Call 911. Call 911. Don't come near us. The keys are...
Oh my god, stop. What's happening? Jake! Rachel! Anna! What do I do? Okay, where's the phone?
911. What's your emergency?
Help us, please help. My boyfriend and his friends are getting pulled into the sky.
Everybody stay calm, just relax. Stay calm, it's fine. Be all right, just stay calm.
I feel it in the
Stay calm, just relax. Stay calm, it's fine.
Ma'am, where are you?
I'm in the desert. We're camping. We're here camping, but they're floating. And I don't know if they're dead. Something's wrong. They won't answer, and they're not screaming, and I can barely see them anymore because they're so high.
You're high?
No, they're high.
Ma'am, what did they take? Can you tell me what they took and what you took?
What are you talking? What? Took? No, they're high in the air. Something is sucking them into the air, like pulling them into the sky.
Ma'am, what is your exact location? Ma'am?
Well, that was episode 6 of the Harry Yarns podcast, Blinded by the Light. As you have surely figured out, this is a story inspired by alien abduction, but not just one specific encounter, but rather a combination of all of the reported encounters in general over time.
Actually, because of that, I thought about making this a 2-part story, with part 2 telling the story about what actually happens once they get onto the ship. But most of the stories overlap. Usually they're strapped down, prodded, and experimented on.
Right, because there are thousands of reports of abductions over the past 75 plus years, so it's pretty hard to draw lines between them or make distinctions.
It's also hard to separate the stories that we've read about in books or have seen on screen from the actual accounts.
Yeah, I agree. More than any other supernatural or monster story, it does seem like there have been more alien stories, and most of them are pretty similar.
Anyways, that's why we decided to just do part 1 and let you guys use your imagination to think about what could have happened to the 3 of them up there, and to decide for yourselves why the aliens decided to just take Rachel, Anna, and Jake and leave Lila.
Yes, what happened to Lila?
I'd be curious to hear what listeners think. I think we'll post the question in our Instagram stories. If you have a thought on this, go to our IG page at Harry Yarns Podcast and answer the question.
Okay, so to get back to the stories that inspired us, there are a couple of significant accounts that have raised more eyebrows than others. For instance, the Barney and Betty Hill incident that occurred in New Hampshire in September 1961. Betty and Barney were driving back from a vacation in Niagara Falls when they saw a bright light in the sky. It was unusual enough for them to stop the car to check it out, and they argued about whether they should be worried about it or not. The first thought it was a star, then a plane, and then when it started coming at their car, they finally got scared and concerned that it was something dangerous.
This was the one where the state government actually placed a historical marker at the spot where the object first approached them, right?
Yes, in 1961, this was a big deal. Plus, their story was scary to people, but also weirdly believable. And it had some things in it that people could confirm. According to Barney, around 10 humanoid figures wearing glossy black uniforms and black caps came out of the craft and communicated to them through telepathy, saying to stay where you are and keep looking. And when they got home, they both said they had odd sensations they couldn't explain, like Betty insisted their luggage must stay by the back door, they had memory loss, and both of their watches stopped working and would never work again.
That's really weird, especially the watch part.
The weirdest thing, and probably the most standout fact about this claim compared to the thousands of claims from people over the years, is the content of Betty's dreams. She had vivid dreams for 5 days after the incident, but then they stopped. She was obsessed, though, and started writing down everything she remembered. They both underwent hypnosis, and everything had supposedly seen and experienced came out. But also, Betty did something they hadn't seen before. She drew a star map of the view she saw from the spaceship. In 1968, a teacher in Ohio read a book on their encounter written by John Fuller and was curious about the map because she was an amateur astronomer.
We could do a whole episode and discussion on this map. The way Marjorie Fish, the teacher, went about figuring it out is ridiculous, especially since this was 1968 and there was no internet, no computers, just paper maps and books. She just had a hunch or a feeling or something.
Yeah, like she already had a lot of knowledge because she was obsessed with astronomy. And when she saw the map, she just felt compelled to figure it out. So it was a process, like you said, but long story short, she assumed that one of the 15 stars on the map was the Earth's sun and made a model of nearby sun-like stars using string and beads.
Using her teacher skills.
Right? It's amazing because she figured out that the only one that seemed to match Betty's map was the viewpoint of the double star system of Zeta Reticuli, which is 39 light years from Earth.
Betty was a social worker, and Barney worked for the post office, so neither of them were astronomers or amateur stargazers. And this map was something experts couldn't explain.
A lot of Betty and Barney's other claims and memories were claimed later by many other people, like the descriptions of the men or the sick feeling after the abduction and the dreams, etc. But the map makes the story stand out.
Another interesting alien encounter story that we thought was unique and that stood out from all the others was the account that came from astronaut Leroy Chow about his UFO sighting in space back in 2005. You see, Leroy was the commander of the International Space Station for 6.5 months. One day, he was on a spacewalk with a cosmonaut, installing antennas 230 miles above Earth, traveling over 17,000 miles per hour when he saw something out of the corner of his eye.
This is another story, by the way, where there's something a little different about the sighting, and it has something about it that gives it just a little bit more credibility. In this case, the person making the claim is a highly respected and experienced astronaut, so people were more likely to seriously consider his account.
Super creepy. What he saw was a line of very bright lights that looked like an upside-down check mark. The line of lights flew by in the middle of space. But his fellow spacewalker was facing the opposite direction, so he didn't see it.
What makes this case interesting to me, or what makes it kind of different, is that he saw it, and even though he can't explain it and doesn't buy all of the explanations people are giving him for what he saw, he still doesn't think he saw spaceships.
I agree. Most of the time, the person is saying, I saw a spaceship, and everyone else assumes they're crazy or making it up, and they spend their whole life continuing to uphold their original story. This guy told his story and said, I do believe there is other life in the universe, but I'm skeptical that we've been visited by aliens from another planet. And he has no viable or logical explanation for what he saw, but he basically refuses to believe that they were spacecraft because there's no actual tangible evidence that someone else is visiting Earth from some other planet or place.
I guess if we find out that the government really has had the evidence that they're keeping from the world about aliens, we might believe otherwise. Do you believe aliens exist or have visited Earth?
Well, yeah, 100%. Why wouldn't they exist? There's no way we're the only intelligent sentient life forms in the universe or beyond. It's kind of arrogant, don't you think?
Well, time will tell, because at the rate we're killing the Earth, we're probably going to need someone to come rescue us. Hopefully they've already figured that part out and making plans.
Well, I don't know. We might be a lost cause.
Well, that conversation took a dark turn. But that's what we do here on Harry Yarns.
Yep. Anyways, we hope you enjoyed episode 6 of the Harry Yarns podcast, Blinded by the Light. We have some interesting episodes coming soon, so please subscribe and stay tuned.
Special thanks to this episode's guest stars, our LA collaborator Anthony Purnell and Morgan Marie, who is based out of Atlanta. Also, please remember to subscribe to the podcast on your favorite service. We are available anywhere you can access podcasts. And remember to follow us on Instagram at Harry Yarns Podcast for new episode releases.
Please also follow Kayla and I on Instagram at the Tal Anderson and at Kayla Cromer Official. We also make announcements there as well, and we welcome any questions in the Harry Yarns Instagram DMs. Thanks so much for listening, and stay safe.
Catch us in a few weeks for episode 7. Later.
Bye, everyone.
A special thank you to Adobe, SAG-AFTRA, and story editor Vicki Anderson. Harry Yarns is produced in Los Angeles by Violet Sky Media, and audio post-production is done by Tal Anderson.